friends. Welcome to another night of Random Guy Art Night on the 999 ASMR Tarot Visual Textures. And today we are going to actually do tarot. We're going to do art, tarot art. And I'm going to try something, in doing this, I'm going to try something totally new. So, and if you stay all the way to the end, I'm going to read a poem, like an ode to Art Bell, my hero. So this is for Tarot Ask Backwards, for the channel Tarot Ask Backwards, and that poem is for him. But nevertheless, we are going to give this a go. Uh-oh. If I can get it open. I cleaned up my palette today, and we're going to try using those crayons as watercolors. Since they're water soluble, we're going to give that a go. And need to get my water out. There we go. Guess we'll put that over here. So we're just going to start out by mixing those colors together. I hope they work. I don't know if it's going to or not. I'm going to add some water into, it's supposed to. Looks like it does work. I need to get some paper towel. Where did I put that at? Over here. I spent all day looking for my color wheel and I couldn't find it. I've lost, over the last several years, I've lost 2 color wheels. So I spent the time this evening. Okay, this is going to work. Now, that's color from there. Okay, so what as I use these, I will just mix the colors down. And that should work. Okay. Too much dead air going on now. It's 2 minutes in and nothing has happened. And so we are going to do this card. And I think the color scheme... Hello, Simone Tyler. Welcome. So I am going to try and do undercolors and overcolors. You just had a bunkum den and it was amazing. Oh, I don't know what that is. I think you're like you're trying to make a joke or something and I don't really get it. So, okay, I'm going to start with just some blue. Some good old-fashioned blue. I'm going to paint this in here. Kind of like use it like watercolors. I guess the colors are just going to be kind of light. So this is an Ace of Wands. And so we're using this undercolor here, a blue, and then I'm going to run over the undercolor a different color. So just some different colors to see if I can get some interesting like light effects. We're just going to let the textures, these textures ride in this. It's supposed to be kind of like this fiery shapes coming off of here, so I apologize that this video is boring. But then again, who has watched a live art video that wasn't boring? I think what I'm going to do is, this is Bob Ross. Oh, so it's not boring to you? Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm going to get another brush and pull some color off here. You can't really tell, but it is. Those are W. These are Neocolor 2. These are wax pastels. These are they're crayons, but they're very expensive crayons. They cost like a couple bucks each. I think I paid almost $2 a piece for these crayons. They are Caran Arche Neocolor 2 water soluble wax pastels. So this is a little castle right here. It's a little castle, and so I'm kind of painting the undercolor, and then we're going to do an overcolor. And we are over here with this blue. Well, that's a pretty rich blue. You know, these wax pastels are, color-wise, they're way more richer when you add water to them than when you just use them and scribble them down on the paper. So I can just show you as an example. The last one, I just sort of scribbled it down on paper, and that's what the colors look like. And then so you can look like, here's the difference between the colors. And so we can work them out there. And they dry, I guess they dry pretty fast. This is not exactly watercolor paper I'm using here. So the paper is going to buckle. But what I'm working out of is like a journal, it's a notebook. I'm just really only going to be doing like one activity in this notebook here, and that is tarot art. Now, granted, this is not like some new revolutionary design that I'm dealing with. So it looked like a drunk squirrel made it the last time you tried. Well, you know, you just keep on trying. And my first 2-3 years of paintings, I think I only did like 2 or 3 that were any good. So it takes some time. It takes a little time to do this. It's not an overnight thing. So I've been working at this I think since 2016 or 2015. I think in my memory it seemed to be it was 2015. But I think it may have been closer to 2016. So what was opposite of green? It was purple. So we'll do the I don't have brown, so I'm going to do some funky color over here. So purple, that's over here. So we're going to make That is brown. I don't know what the opposite of brown is. Because I don't have my, I couldn't find my color wheel, so we'll do like maybe an orangey color. So a blue-green for back here. So sort of a blue-green undertone. Supposedly, if you do an underpainting, it makes your paintings more dynamic. I'd never done underpaintings before. Purple. So we've got purple trees. So you'll be back in a few minutes. All right, well, thank you. Thank you for I'm going to be here I'm going to be here for an hour. These trees look like they don't look very good to me. But oh well. We'll just sort of I'm not really very good at drawing. That was never one of my strong suits. I'm gonna. I think I got. Did I buy a black one of those pins? Yeah, I did. I'm just gonna go use some black here. Oh, you are very kind, Izzy. For Izzy's painting channel. What kind of stuff do you do, Izzy? Here we go. So that whole notion of doing an underpainting, I just heard about that for the very first time because I never took an art class in my life. So where are we at now? I'm going to do. Okay, I'm gonna go with the magenta color. I think that was like some. I think it was this one over here. I don't really think it is magenta, but I'm going to make the clouds this color. This is the clouds of the Ace of Wands. If anything, you know, what we're going to get out of here is we're going to get a great time, an experiment. And then I can always do it again. I don't ever have to do this method again, but actually I probably am going to do this method a lot more. Because the colors with these Caran d'Arch pastels are really dynamic when they're wet down. There's going to be a lot of quiet in here, a lot more quiet than usual. I'm recovering from a 2-day migraine, and not that you care, but Interesting. This is all very interesting. Now, what is the guy's hand going to be? White? Do I just leave it white like that? Or do I go in there with a colored pencil and paint it? Maybe I'll do that, but let's paint the rod first. I think I'm going to let's see. I did this yellow the last time with green, yellow and green. So we got opposite yellow is blue. All right, so we go in there, back in there with the blue. Maybe I'll paint it a different color blue, like this. This light blue here. And just kind of that color. I don't know. Why don't we do this heavy blue instead? Well, we got that right here. We're going to just paint it kind of that blue. I like this. So I am actually reinterpreting the head of the wand. And for this series, I'm going to stick with it being shaped like this. And now we go to, I don't know what the opposite of brown is, because like I say, I lost my color wheel. The last time I saw it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And so I'm going to go back online to an online color wheel on a tablet that is almost ready to break. And it doesn't say what the opposite of brown is. But if we go into another, what's a complementary color to brown? Does anybody know that? Nobody's here anymore. It's not here. Oh, here we go. So it would be like some kind of a greenish color, like a blue-green color. Looks like this over here. I think this is the opposite of brown. I'm putting so I think I'll color because this is a hand that's coming out of the clouds. Maybe it should be like one of those I think it should be like one of those Indian gods. And the Indian gods all have like this this bluish skin. And so I'm gonna do an undercolor of yellow, like this yellow over here. This is actually pretty clever. And I can use these crayons like watercolor, which means I don't have to buy any watercolors. So I'm going to come over here and do an undercoat in yellow. Maybe we'll just leave the fingernails like white or something like that. Coming out of the clouds is this hand. Well, it looks like we're slow enough at it that it's okay. What was the ground color that I did before? We're looking at green, and the opposite of green was purple. Purple, opposite of green, but maybe we want a different color. Kind of like a... maybe want more like a desert color. So we go back into that, like a light brown in the end. So we got our complementary colors right in here. So being like a kind of an orangey color. And so then it is sort of a, yeah, it's just, okay, I got it. We got it here. I'm going to, let's clean the brush off. We have a lot of surface area here. Oh, and then, yeah, okay, yeah. You know, it's kind of fun to try things for the very first time. So I'm going to put this in here. We'll see what kind of light effects happen by doing an underpainting. I want to see if it's all that, everything that it's cracked up to being. When I was watching all those tutorials and crap like that on how to use pastels, and because they seem to be using in painting with those pastels and in ways that I would never think to do. I guess that's just the value of like looking at what other people do. As you can find new ways to do things. It's like the difference of, like you have somebody who's on the day shift and they have this one way of doing a job, but then the other guy, the night shift supervisor, has a completely different way altogether, and so then you're left with, well, I got to do it this way on the day shift, but there's this overlap between the night shift, and so with the night shift guy, well, we just got to do something totally different then. Okay. Well, welcome back. Welcome back, Tyler. Welcome back. I'm just kind of moving on. I'm done. I'm almost done with the underpainting. something they call an underpainting. It's not like underwear, but it's similar. I need to go back and do some purple on this stuff. So the purple was this stuff over here. So the opposite of green is purple. I would know all this if I ever had taken an art class. I'd never taken an art class. Well, other than high school art. I took 2 years of high school art, but then most of the time I spent that time like screwing off. Like this one time during art class, right after lunch, I drove my Volkswagen Bug around the track. That's what I did during art class. In this day and age, you couldn't get away with driving your car around the track during art class. Anyways, I'm going to... Okay, so we got that. So the opposite of... magenta, blue grays, magenta. The opposite of blue is yellow. All right, so we're going to go in. I think I'll go and get a different shade of yellow. Like this really super bright yellow. So yeah, so you can go onto the back of your crayon and then you can pick up that color. This takes a lot of patience. Oh, I don't know if it's that good. I think my acrylic painting is really good. I can say that. Well, no, I think it has a lot of room for improvement because I'm going to be doing this image soon. This is one of my images that I'm going to be doing soon. On my, I'm going to just say it. I'm old. On my 50th birthday, I spent 9 nights in Hawaii, and this is the North Shore on Oahu, and so that's smells like somebody lit the wood stove on fire. You know, that's for the birds. I'm going to shave some of this off. That's what they did. I saw somebody do that. They took the crayon and they just rubbed it down on a surface, and so if you're new here and just looking on, don't forget to push the like and the subscribe button. I am trying to go over 1,000 subs, but I'm not quite at 1,000 subs yet. Let's go in and put some more of that down. So yeah, what you can do is you can take that crayon and you take it on the surface and you just write it on, put it on the surface, and then you can lift that color up with your brush and paint it down. I spent like 4 hours cleaning off my palette today. I was thinking about buying another one, but then I said, why should I buy another one when I have this one? Because apparently there was a right way to use these things. And, you know, All right, so we are at, let's see, what's over here? Distant. We'll just fill it in later. Okay, I'm gonna turn on my hair dryer to get all of this really dry here, just to make before I put the next coat on. Just a little bit of, so if you got headphones on, just be warned. I'm gonna lay down some hot air on here, so just be careful. Okay, there we go. And now we go. Eventually, I'm going to have to clean up my room. Okay, let's go work on the sky. We got the sky is yellow. Yellow, yellow. So apparently this thing is to stick your thumb through and be like a ha 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 ha, the hottie artist here. With your... They have it on the wrong side. And so my yellow sky. And it's going to be green now. So those people that talk about your underpainting, I think they're full of S. Because I wasn't going in for a green sky here. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to try something else. I'm going to try something else altogether. We're going to take that yellow, 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 yellow. I'm going to just run it right over the top here. And see if this does anything. Maybe that works better. Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to talk very much today. I will just let the crayon do the talking. You know what? You don't need to feel bad because sometimes a lot of school has started back up again, and people's schedules have changed. And so I'm just kind of figuring out what time the best time to come on. I was going to come on earlier in the day today, but like I said, I had a bad, it was in a migraine episode, and I just didn't have the energy to do one. And anyway, this is not exactly an exciting video. I'm gonna put this over here. What color was the orange? Like a bluish green color. I think I was making it kind of like this. Or maybe this color in here. Yeah, kind of maybe this couple different colors going on here. Yeah, whenever it's off to school, because during the summer I was getting a lot more views, and as soon as September started, then my views and everything started to drop down. But my watch time is a lot higher than it was in the summer, so there's a lot of people watching my videos on the playback, which is fine by me. I need the watch time too. I have one of these white crayons, white highlights. Got the castle, faraway castle. And then we come in and take this blue here. A very strong blue. And that was probably the wrong color blue, but now we have the trees. I need a different color green to contrast with the landscape here. Welcome, Victoria. Well, actually, I still have the migraine. I'm just busy doing other things. I didn't have headache pain today. I had mostly a lot of my eyes were buggy and had a lot of other. There's like, I don't know. I don't often I often don't get the headache pain. I often get a lot of other oddball symptoms. And okay, I'm going to go over this now with some water. And see, wait, we're gonna go back over the sky. Use this yellow make some nice yellow effects here. Hopefully it but you know, we can have this impressionistic thing. It's not like we're going for any kind of realism here. If we were going for realism, I'd be sunk. Yeah. Let's just come up here and bring out here. Almost looks like rivers in the sky. That the camera's a little lower. I'll just lift it up for you. So this is what we got here. I'm going to add some water on here in just a bit, just to bring out the colors here. And I'm doing another layer of... Actually, this is as low as I can make the camera because I'm on a horizontal mount, and I'm using a boom microphone stand in order to mount mount the camera. Okay, yeah, I'm just trying. I'm just, you know. I'm gonna add in a bunch of different colors. I think I want to add some red in there too, so we can get some like fire effects. Maybe do that really lightly in here. That's probably too heavy, too much, and so let's... Okay, we'll see you the next time. I know that I'm coming back at 10:10 on Friday night. I don't know what I'm gonna do now on Friday night. I'm thinking I might start working on this painting, start doing a rough draft of this painting on Friday night. I think I'll do that. So this is what you're gonna see Friday night, but at least you'll try. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I oftentimes will change my mind. I change my mind a lot to, you know. I might actually make Friday night a straight up poetry night as well. I've been wanting to do poetry again. I think I want to add a secondary color in here of like some red. So we have that. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Then I said that I was going to make the hand blue like it was a one of them Hindu gods, since it's this hand that's coming out of the sky. It looks really muddy now. I don't want it to look muddy here. That's the danger of this, is all your colors turning into mud. And then come up here, we got the green. I probably should have did that last. All right, now I have this thing, and I wanted that to be yellow. Actually, that's not half bad. I need to have some red in it. Okay, let's go add some water. Just add water. Poetry. Yeah, I'm gonna do poetry tonight too. I am. That's the first art. So it's got like this bluish green hands. I could do it. I could do the poetry now. It's a long poem. I wonder if I could. Now my chair is on top of the poem. Oh, I don't want to hurt myself. I'm not exactly a young person anymore. What I wanted to do in poetry was to do a dramatic reading of a receipt. One of my favorite poets from a long time ago did a dramatic reading from a like a Walmart superstore receipt, and turned it into a very exciting story. And so I've always wanted to do one of those of my own. I think I'm going to need multiple layers. Excuse me. For this to work out. That is one of the mistakes that new painters and do make, is not doing enough layers of color, doing just single layers of color and thinking that that's going to be good enough. But art is often the pictures are more often than not, this looks like a foot better than a hand. It are better. Well, hello. I remember you. Let me get my magnifying glass so I can actually see your name, even though I'm wearing my prescription glasses. Peanut on the... Is that what it is? Peanut on the... That's probably not what it is, but I do remember you. Hi and welcome. I haven't seen you for about a month. I'm just going to lay the color down in here. I need to see what your name is. I know, I remember, but I can't. I see. It's not Peanut. Your first part of your channel name isn't Peanut, but it looks like that. Oh, forgive me. Forgive me for butchering your name. So we're just gonna do multiple layers of color on this until I get it. Till I get it to where I like it. But this isn't watercolor paper. This is actually sketching paper. And 52 minutes. Yeah, it is. So could you just write it out for me? Type it out for me so I can read it? What does this message say? Oh, peanut on the pause. Okay. Peanut on the pause. I thought it was peanut. Peanut on the pause. Yeah, kind of like... Yeah, I get it. I get it. Peanut on the pause. I shouldn't even try to reproduce Pamela Coleman Smith's tree shapes down here. They look very cartoonish, and I don't seem to be able to do cartoonish very well. There he is. Well, we'll just kind of do that in there. So, peanut on the pause. This is my very first time doing an underpainting. So I don't know if I'm going to do it a second time, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a shot and try it a second time someday. Probably the next time. So yeah. So I with an underpainting, you're supposed to take like complementary colors, and so So you use your color wheel, but since I lost my color wheel, I had to use an online color wheel. And I do have a new color wheel coming. Someday. So we will, I think, no, I'm not going to do that. All right. I was going to make these clouds blue-gray. That's right. And now let me go back in and work on the sky. No, yeah. I'm just like full of indecision today. Indecision. Nothing but, where did my watercolor paintbrush go? The other one. I got hundreds of brushes except for that one. And I was using that one earlier today. Where did it go to? Huh. I must have just skipped into a new timeline or something like that, where my brushes and everything are just vanishing. Oh, it's right here. Dummy me. Okay. So I'm going to bring out this, try to bring up this layer of color here. You know, I think with a second layer of yellow on here, I think I can really make it, could see where you will get that dynamic effect here. I think it is. I think maybe the underpainting thing may just be worthwhile. So one of the things I'm contemplating here is in the near future doing a marathon painting live stream and doing a, you know, that 6x12, that 6x12 I've done of the forest scene, and I have another canvas just like that, but I was thinking about doing it with a specific underpainting, and I'm gonna have to practice it first before I do it, and then do a marathon live stream. I know that no one's gonna sit there and watch the whole thing. I get that. I get that. We'll probably do it on a Saturday or something like that, and where it's gonna take me like 4 hours to do a painting. And I know that with like Tropical Impress Tarot, she's done 10-hour long live streams, but she's doing like live tarot readings. A live painting session and a live tarot reading are two totally different things. They're different realities altogether. And so I don't know if that's even a doable thing. Take up some of that water, but actually it's removing the paint off of there. And but if I do a 4-hour long live stream, I am going to have to take a break during it, and I will have to have the phone plugged in too during the thing. it's got that color in it. Maybe a 4-hour long live stream is not, maybe it's not such a great idea. I kind of like that. Interesting. This is really fascinating. I can just say it's just really fascinating. I'll come over here. We'll do the grounds over here. Get the texture of the paper showing through. Clear down here. This is so fascinating. This seems like a golf club, don't you think? The baton's more like a that I turned it into a golf club. Blend those colors in. Kind of make it if we go over here and make it some orangey like colors. I don't know, we got this orangey like color over here. Let's put that in here. Kind of makes it darker something or another. Okay. All right, now, how's this? Is it ready for another layer? Okay, let's do another layer then. It asks me to do that other layer. Another layer of yellow. Yellow. From the Caran de Arche. The Caran de Arche Neocolor Aquella. The Caran de Arche. Another layer of Caran de Arche. And see if I can cancel out some of that green that's down here. Uh-oh, I just lost one of my lights. Just burned out on me. I got a backup over here. I think that I'm going to have to... I think these have a limited lifespan. Hello, Eddie. Have you been here before, Eddie? So Eddie, this is in some sense, it is a first time trying a brand new technique, and I am brand new technique. I want to add. The arm looks amazing. Yeah, if you say so. Let's add some of this color into it, bringing up a kind of a different coloring in it. All unnatural colors in this guy. But you know what? We have now entered into imagination land, and in imagination land, we have different colors in the sky. And there we go. Maybe a little bit of a black on the edge. On the edge. And there we have it. And then I've got some edge work like that. It's not perfect. I'm going to add some more, one more layer of water. Wah wah. You thought it was a Yeti? Yeah. Well, it's a magical hand that's coming out of the clouds. But I made the magical hand have blue skin like an Indian, like a Hindu god or something like that. Makes you kind of wonder if the Hindus' gods aren't actually aliens with blue skin. So I've been in this image for an hour now. I'm going to probably, I don't know. Am I going to try this one again? Maybe. Maybe I'll try it again. Another day, not tomorrow. I'm going to the beach tomorrow. Tomorrow it's a beach day, and I want to work some more on that, the end of the club there. I want to bring out some brighter yellow. Got green. It's all right if it's green. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's not supposed to be an exact representation. The instructions that were given to me by Moon Scarab, the channel Moon Scarab Tarot, was, Bill, which is my name, you gotta create a tarot. You gotta create your own tarot deck. And so I am probably going to create my own tarot deck. But at first I'm gonna go through. Pee-wee is coming to the beach with me. I'm bringing my mother, who's 84, going on 85, and I'm bringing Pee-wee. And that's absolutely, Pee-wee is coming to the beach with me, and it should be a nice, warm 65 degrees tomorrow. And I'm hopefully, yeah, that's what it should be. Nice, warm 65 degrees. Well, I put in a lot of water in this paper. Yeah. I haven't really got, I live really close to the beach too. I mean, where I'm living at on the West Coast, I am like a 40-minute drive away from the beach. I'm going to make that castle a different color altogether. You know what? I'm going to go in there and make the castle gold. It's an impressionistic castle in the distance that is gold. Has some there it is. There it is. Okay. All right, I'm done with this. So I'm going to do, well, you know, I'm not going in the water. I'm not going in. So while I was looking for my color wheel today, I found one of my rosaries. This isn't my original rosary, but this is a rosary that some young, well, she's not a young lady anymore, but she was a young lady at one time, gave to me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a poem. And this poem is for another channel. A guy who'd never heard of Art Bell, but this is a montage, coast-to-coast montage in memory of Art Bell. Art Bell had a late-night talk radio show that ran in the 90s, the 1990s, and it was all about all kinds of weird things. And so I'm going to read this. This is actual lines from those radio programs that I wrote down, and I strung them together into this poem. And so this poem is for the channel Tarot Ask Backwards. So, harp, privacy, and mind control. We're going to talk about it all tonight. 60-million-year-old dinosaur eggs were discovered in a sheer rock wall in Chechnya, the size of bicycles. The Bible is going down in terms of sale. The world is waking up. So many things bottle the mind. The human race is trapped in a prison of its own design. The authorities have the power to mind control people. Even Steve has never seen so many UFO reports in his life. He reports a man sees a light larger than Venus in the sky chased by F-16s hopping up and down. Was it a sign from something in heaven? For more information, go to 5hourenergy.com. What was that all about? The monolith was the shape of the movie screen. The message is that an alien species has been guiding us, is still guiding us, and will transform us, the human race, by raising our consciousness into the next new stage of existence. Subliminal message in Kubrick's films. Apes become hunters and killers. A big black stone refines us, makes us better. Kubrick was hired to fake the moon landing. For more information, go to sacredmysteries.com. HAARP is capable of affecting the climate or causing earthquakes. The way the parties are playing it, they're so rigid, we need a brain spa to enhance our mental facilities. The mind control comes from this space. As you dive into those areas, mind control is fertile ground. Coming out of politics, it's all about mind control. They got this thing down to a science. It's integrated into marketing, gaming, everything. Our thoughts are being controlled. The government has learned that fear controls the population. Fear suspends higher order thinking. Religions do it. Governments do it. If you think about it this way, this is a way to move a population into a direction that you desire, and then you sprinkle in a little patriotism, national pride, and voila. The people will do the will of the few. Hitler saw fear as a tool. An enlightened population needs to see beyond fear. The real test of this century is the use of technology. Sit down, watch TV, and people go into a zone. They can't even hear a spouse yell that dinner is ready. They're going to use profiling on an individual level, on a grand scale, to move the scale 50% plus one, and voila, Mitt Romney is president. They can use music to influence thought. Commercial music is specifically designed to create a state of mind. Colors, it is the same. When we come back, let's get into electronic telepathy. The force gives us more than clean air and water. Today, only 1,600 grizzly bears live in the lower 48. This problem is closer than you think. Be sure to look both ways before crossing the street. Do you think sporting events were created to control the population? If you go back to the age of the Roman gladiators, what was that about? It's a way to disarm and deflect a population's concern about the president. The idea behind telepathy is that you are the radio. You don't need a radio. The idea is to create chaos and confusion in the enemy. You drive the psychology to the physiology to create the effect. How much of this is Machiavellian? Politicians get fed propaganda. That's why they use to make decisions. Government scientists are the real ones in control. They aren't elected. They are there before and after a politician is in office. They hope nobody has enough brains to ask tough questions. That's why you got to stop watching TV like American Idol. Stop watching TV and regain control of your own mind. Mind control. This is what HAARP is all about. If they wait long enough, they can play the game again. Fear is what brings Hitler's alive. Fear is a principal weapon of the military-industrial complex. That's it for tonight, folks. Let's do it all again tomorrow. Well, that's that poem. And anyway, now I have that a week ago Monday, I made my own set of answer cards. You don't have to say anything. That is just a poem. And I'm just going to draw one of my answer cards. I'm going to ask it, will I win the lottery tomorrow night? It's at 9.1. 9.1 is what the lottery is. So this is answer cards like, maybe like a magic 8-ball. So I'm just going to ask it a question and see if it has anything to say to me. These are answer cards. And it says, it's time to wake up. That's what it says. So will I win the lottery? It says it's time to wake up to reality. Reality, if there is a greater reality than this. So it's an oracle deck that I made. And then lastly, I have my tiny tarot. And since this is a tarot channel, my channel name, this thing is still wet, so we'll put that over there. These are tiny tarot cards. Tiny tarot cards. Let's see what it says. It's about justice, or the balancing of the yin and the yang in your life, balancing the different realities. And that's what that says. You need to have balance in your life. And anyway, so you got a question for the... Okay, what's your question for the answer cards? You'll want to see if the answer... So what's your question? So let's just say what Eddie's a question. Eddie has a question, and Eddie wants to know what the answer to his question is. So I don't know what your question is, but we will see. Will you become rich? Okay. Will Eddie become wealthy? We'll tap the good luck into it. Will Eddie become wealthy? You can't riffle shuffle these cards because this is made out of 120-pound watercolor paper, but you can shuffle this way. So, Eddie, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to lay out this card here, and this card here. Which one of these three cards do you want, Eddie? Which card is your answer? This one, or this one, Eddie? This one, or this one? The middle one. You know, I was going to think that. I was thinking that. It says, beware and move ahead with care. So, will you become rich? So you have to be careful. So how I interpret this is that wealth is better earned than given to you. When you earn your wealth, you don't get a big head about it. And your riches, and then you are able to maintain your soul when you... And so this is... Oh, so so that's kind of how I would interpret that. But you can interpret this any way you want. So beware, move ahead with care when it comes to trying to achieve great riches. So like for instance, when they talk up, there's like when they talk about, let's say you win the lottery. You go play the lottery, you win the lottery. This is what the experts say you should do. is don't do anything for a year. So let's say you win like $5 million. What they say is don't quit your job. You're gonna get it. It'll take you a good 6 months to get over the shock that you won the lottery. Because if you go out and start spending that money as soon as you get it, you're gonna get yourself into a jackpot. Okay, will you get a full night's sleep tonight? Well, that just depends on you. I need to get a full night's sleep tonight. Otherwise, I'm going to be back into another migraine zone. But I will ask you that question. I made that thing. I painted it on if you go to my community page, Wild Coconut, I have pictures of what that thing was that I made on the paper mache thing I made last weekend. And if you hang on, I'll go get it. I have it in the next room. So you're sick. Will you get so what it says, Eddie, is for you to slow down. You need to slow down and take it easy. Slow down and take it easy. What's an illumination letter? So you're sick and you can so for Wild Coconut, the message for Wild Coconut, you're sick. What's it going to say for you? What are you sick with? So what it says, Wild Coconut, is that you need to take a day off. You need to play. You need to take, and then you need to make sure that you take care of yourself. Oh, okay. I don't even know if I can write cursive anymore. But for you being sick, oh yeah. Yeah, I understand. I generally fall asleep at 4 a.m. But the problem is, ever since I got the COVID, which I got the COVID really bad almost 2 years ago, my migraines are just terrible. And so if I like stay up till 5, then I'm going to have just really bad pain. Yeah. Yeah. So you were fine 2 days ago and now you're sick. Yeah. Just hang on for a second. I'm going to get that dino creature you're talking about. I'll be right back in just a second here. It doesn't say anything of the kind. It doesn't say anything like that. Here's this one. Here's this one. And then this one here is not done yet. I'm still working on this one. Okay, you usually go to sleep at 12:30. And so this is the one I painted on Sunday. And this one I did in August sometime. Yeah. And the other one I haven't finished yet. And that one's not done yet. So no. Well, you know, Eddie, the number 666 in numerology is all means it has the meaning of that number in numerology. It's all about love. That's what that number means in numerology. The six is about. It's more like it's not like romantic love or anything. It could be, but it's more like um, it's more like serving others kind of stuff. It's kind of that way. That's 50 or 49 BRB. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's what 666 means in numerology. The in the book of Revelations, it's the identifies the name of an individual who is like is the great was the great destroyer of of the Israeli um, kingdom in like 80, that because that book was all about that time. But then it was the book was co-opted again, so maybe it has a spiritual, it has something to do with, I really don't know. You're back. And so anyways, we can try the answer cards again. And I'm at 90-minute mark. I need to get to sleep early myself so I can get up early to go to the beach. But let's see, this one just fell out. So this one here, it's for someone out there that needs to go for it and take a risk. So maybe this message is for the illuminated letter. The illuminated letter, that's in cursive. That means I have to know what cursive is. I don't remember how to do cursive, man. Except maybe my name. I mean, will you become a famous YouTuber? Okay. Will Eddie become a famous YouTuber? How do you define fame? So will Eddie become a famous YouTuber? Will he have a following that is greater than, no, will he become famous someday as a YouTuber? That's what it says, maybe. But it also says, look, it says maybe twice. Look at that. Maybe tight. But it also says it's time to wake up. And it says to watch out. So I don't know what that means in here. So maybe twice. Maybe twice, Eddie. But you need to bring you need to wake up into pay attention to the numbers 333. Good night. And this number is about change. So you may have some change coming. All right, Eddie. Maybe, maybe. That's pretty amazing that both of these cards came up together. All right. Illuminated letter. I will do that. Let me look at my... I got a tablet here someplace. Right here. Got too much stuff here. Good night, Eddie. And all right, you're still there. Let's see if we can make this thing work. This thing is like... It's like almost ready to break. Okay, well, let's just come over here then. ILLUMIN. Illuminated. INATED. Come on. Oh. So like this? Well, maybe we'll just try one right now. Okay. All right, let's get this out of the way. And I'm going to put my cards out of the way. Let me see if I have a blank note card around here someplace. Well, I got that. No, this notebook is for tarot art. That's for tarot art. And, okay. All right. J. We'll try this. We'll have to do something really simple here. Let's try this A. You know what, Eddie? Wild coconut. I think. Let's see. Can I just try something simple here, rather than something like that's really too. Oh, this is so terrible. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna try this again. I need a different. I have I need a blank piece of paper. I have all of that crap right here. There we go. You had to suffer through one of my poems, so that's just the least I can do is to try to do a special request here. How did I get this stuff fitting in this box before? You know, they say because I'm a life path 4 that they say to me as a life path 4 because of my DOB that I'm supposed to be this neat and tidy guy, but you know, there's nothing neat and tidy about my life. I mean, sure, some things are neat and tidy, but oh, I did this backwards. Let's try it again. I'm gonna try this again. Man. This brings me back to, like, you know, during the days when I was writing my letters backwards, which I did that for like for years and years and years. Oh, no wonder why. Oh, I that's why it's backwards. Yes, I will do a Q&A. I will do a Q&A when I hit 1,000 subs. I was going to do a Q&A, but what kind of question do you have? I can if you have a question for me, I'll answer a question for you right now, if I can. So you want to know that that when I was in my early days um, that my education is in the realm of mathematics and physics and religious studies and religious studies and music and theater. So this is kind of there, but it's not really at all. So let's just work on making the central part better. This is a illuminated letter. I think it's supposed to be like a dragon or something. So Wild Coconut, if you have a question for me, go formulate your question and I will give it my best shot to answer the question. Okay. Here we are. So it has a This is closer. It's closer to the one that's in this picture here. It's closer. I want to use I do a lot of I do a lot of stuff. So I'll give you the story here. The breakdown, the way it worked is that when I was 8 years old, I started cooking. But my mama tells me that I had, when I was a child in first grade, I had no problems creating my own stories. And so the first art I learned was music, and I studied, and I'd taken piano lessons, and then doing band in like the sixth grade all the way till like halfway through high school. I played trumpet, and I played saxophone. I played trumpet. Then I started learning how to play the electric guitar when I was like 15, 16, and I played guitar for many years. And then I also did theater. I played Dungeons and Dragons. I did theater, and then I started about after graduating from high school. I started writing poetry. Then I started writing poetry, and then I did poetry for the longest, and I done that for the longest time, writing poetry. And paper mache, I just started doing just like in this summer. So yeah, that's just a very new something that's very new. And I started painting in 2016. And that's the story of what artistically what I've been doing. But what I can tell you about doing art and stuff like that is that if you pick up one and you master it. Now the other one that I did was photography. If you pick up like one art form and you master it, it's a lot easier to do other things. Learn how to do other things. And I believe that is true, and it absolutely is true. But because what happens is you just get an idea, you get a sense for how things are designed and so forth. So tarot is something that I wanted to do for a long time, but I didn't. But I started doing tarot when I actually started doing tarot after getting sick with the COVID. I got COVID on my birthday 2 years ago, and while I was sick with COVID and my mother was in intensive care with COVID, I talked to my aunt, who was my dad's sister. My dad passed away in 2012, and we're talking, and she said that her grandmother, my great grandmother, read tarot, and then I I was still sick with tarot with the COVID, and I ordered a deck of tarot cards. And so that's really my journey with the tarot just began almost 2 years ago. But I figured it wouldn't be that hard to learn, because but then that's the question I always say, well, how hard could it be? Well, you know what? It's certain parts of it are because if you know how to write and you know how to do writing and do stories, then you can string stories together with tarot cards. But the learning all the meanings and tarot is really complex, and it's one of those lifelong learning things. And so at this particular time, I'm not doing live tarot readings on this. But so that answers your question. I think it answers your question in a roundabout sort of way. I do other things other than paper mache, and my principal visual art is painting, and so we're just learning different forms of visual arts and things like that. The paper mache because it looks cool on camera, and so then yeah. So you have any other questions? So this isn't exactly like the one in the picture here. It's just part of the illuminated letter, but that's what we did for here. And I need to get going because I got to go get to sleep, and I got to get up early because I'm going to go to the beach tomorrow. I got to probably get up in like 7 hours from now so I can get everybody else up. Little Pee-wee, and Pee-wee's easy, but Mama, who's like in her mid-80s, it takes her a while to get going, and so if I get up and get everybody up, then we get that beach day. Oh, when I start YouTube, well, this is my third channel. My first two channels sucked. They really, and I have them both up, and I occasionally go back to go view those videos just to see how terrible I was at video work. And I've been doing this channel for 24 months. But I had my start doing video, doing cable access TV I started that in 1999, and I lived in this small town called McMinnville, Oregon, and you can look it up on a map. I live close to there now, but it's okay. I'm not giving away my exact location, but I did live in this town, McMinnville, Oregon, for many, many years. And when I lived in the city proper, I got involved in cable access TV. And at first, it was one of my high school classmates did a story on me with my poetry, and then in 2000, I got my own show on cable access TV. Yeah, then you sleep. So in 2000, which is 24 years ago, I had my own cable access TV show, and I had a spot once a week, and I did poetry, and then I would because one of the most interesting things I did is I took the video camera up into a airplane, and so some guy, a friend, was a pilot, and I was in a two-seater, and so that's a two-seater. There's the pilot here, and then there's the passenger in the back. And so, and it was so tight in there where you couldn't move. And so I was in there for it was like a half-hour airplane ride. And I took the camera up, and it was a big VHS camera. So this is working on with VHS. And so, you know, the big videotapes, and so VHS. And so I have some of that show on on digital, so some of my show is on, these are digital video tapes, but I don't have a digital video player, so I have absolutely no access to any of that stuff that I did 24 years ago. And so that's where that's where I started in on the video, was doing that. And I did organize an open mic for poetry in McMinnville, and then it expanded out to the neighboring city, Newburgh, and then someone else in another town of Amity wanted me to do their open mic as well. And so I was doing videotaping 3 open mics in 3 different towns, and then I was broadcasting their these poetry reads on my cable access TV show. And so that's how I started in with the video work. And then my first 2 channels that I did was nothing but poetry. I put up sets in my barn, and I was working graveyard shift, and I would do spoken word poetry. And now, granted, I'm not going to tell you what those channels are, because I really don't. I think, but like I say, it's stuff that's in my past, and I started that in 2015, and then when I got a job as a bartender, all of that came to an end, because it was the bartending at a casino was extremely demanding time-wise. It was demanding of my life, and so all of my creative endeavors, with the exception of painting, came to a sudden halt. And I bartended up until the until COVID, and then I ended up doing caregiving for my mom. And so it's 12:15 right now. And so, anyways, 12:16. That is how that went with my video work. And so I do have quite a bit of experience doing it. I really miss editing VHS video, where you had the controls and everything. Video editing in that old style VHS method, I really, really like that. Far better than editing video on, if you're using CapCut, or you're using YouTube Create, or you're using, I don't know, some open source software, or whatever you're using. Granted, I mean, with the digital, it's easier and it's not easier, but the other one was easier and it was not easier too, but it was a lot of fun. Anyways, that is 3:16 for you, because you are out there on the East Coast, and the show went a little bit further on than I was expecting. And so I will endeavor to do for you, Wild Coconut, some more of this. I'll try another one of these at a later date. Okay, and I'm gonna say good night, and I'm gonna thank you very much, Wild Coconut. Thank you, Eddie. Let's see who else was into the chat here. And thank you for everybody who pushed the like and the sub button. Thank you, Peanut on Pause. Thank you, Victoria Sanchez. Thank you, Tyler. So Friday night, I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do maybe I'm gonna do poetry on Friday night, or I might do that painting. So it's gonna be a toss up. I may decide to do poetry on Friday night. And thank you, Jordan. Thank you, the Warrior. Thank you, everybody who stayed with me this long tonight. And have a wonderful day tomorrow. And you get well, Wild Coconut, and get better. Bye-bye and good night.